Chapter 2397. How can you do that? When I grow up and earn money, I'll pay Daddy back. Little Bean retorted. Suddenly, Huamin realized something. Today, Valentine's Day? Mommy, you're so slow. The twins looked at Huamin with disdain. But looking at you, I'm sure you didn't prepare a Valentine's Day present for Daddy? Little Bean guessed. I really forgot. I didn't know today was Valentine's Day. How did it happen so fast? Huamin was embarrassed. Daddy, it seems like you don't need to prepare a present for Mommy. You two are even. Little Bean laughed. Pudding interrupted. He won't. From what I know about Daddy, he definitely won't forget. He might even prepare a surprise for Mommy. You two go upstairs and get changed. Chin Chu didn't want the twins to cause any more trouble. But do we have any plans today? Little Bean asked Pudding excitedly. Yeah, I want to go see Handsome Sue. Pudding drank a glass of milk as she walked upstairs. I don't think that's a good idea. Let's not bother Handsome Sue on Valentine's Day. He's single and poor enough. Daddy has Mommy, Uncle Wei has Auntie Xiao Wei, Uncle Gao has Auntie Lingling, Annie has Uncle Tang, Uncle Ni Yang has Auntie Jia, and even our most honest Uncle Jixin is about to get Auntie Bella. Only Handsome Sue is single. I feel bad for him. Pudding felt even sadder after hearing Little Bean's analysis. So, I want to go see Handsome Sue. I can't let him spend Valentine's Day alone. What about Wei Yunchu? We're still so young. Why do we need to spend Valentine's Day together? You insisted on giving Boyan a hoverbike because you felt guilty for eating so much of his food last time? Don't think I don't know. Pudding saw through Little Bean's little plan. Sis, you know me the best. If that's the case, let's both go see Handsome Sue. Okay, I'll call him and ask him to pick us up. Then, she sent a video call to Suyu. Suyu had just arrived at Imperial Star's headquarters. He was in his office packing up the documents, preparing for the morning meeting. Pudding, Handsome Sue, are you free today? What is it? The two of us want to go over and play with you, today. Let's see. I have a few meetings to attend today. I'll see when I'm done. If it's early, I'll pick you up. If it's late, I won't go. Suyu didn't know that today was Valentine's Day. Alright then, I'll contact you later. After hanging up the phone, Suyu took the documents and walked out. When he passed by the administrative office, he heard a group of female colleagues whispering, Hey, do you know? This year's Valentine's Day is very strange. I can't even buy roses. It can't be, right? How is that possible? Another girl expressed her surprise. It's true. I don't know what's going on. My boyfriend went to buy flowers today but didn't find roses in the florist shop. In the end, he had to buy me lilies and these teddy bears. The girl said with a pout as she held a bunch of lilies in her hands. That's strange. What's going on? Are roses banned? Or did something happen? The women whispered among themselves and didn't notice Suyu walking past them. Is today Valentine's Day? Suyu turned around and asked in confusion after hearing the female colleague's words. Chapter 2398. President Su, I'm not sure either, and said innocently. After all, and had always been single, Suyu cleared his throat and took out his phone to check the calendar. It really was the 14th. It was Valentine's Day. No wonder the two kids called him this morning to keep him company. They didn't want him to feel lonely. Thinking of this, Suyu smiled and walked into the conference room with the documents in his hand. When he came out, it was already 2 hours later. President Su, a gentle voice came from behind him. Suyu turned around and saw Nie Lingxian, whom he hadn't seen in a long time. As the #1 actress in Imperial Star, she had replaced Jian Tong's position. The number of movies and commercials she accepted this year was more than what she had accepted in the previous 5 years. In Cece's words, her sister was going to be famous soon. All she needed was a famous movie. What's up? Yeah, I was injured a while ago, right? I'm really sorry that I delayed a lot of work. Nie Lingxian apologized to Suyu in a low voice. Oh, it's okay. Your health is more important. President Su, this is for you. Nie Lingxian mustered up her courage and took out an exquisite box from her bag. What's this? Su Yu frowned slightly but didn't reach out to take it. He wasn't someone who accepted gifts easily, especially when he didn't know the other party's intentions. Don't get me wrong. It's not expensive. I made it myself, with the oven. It tastes pretty good. I heard that President Su likes chocolate, so I made some. There are no additives and it's very healthy. I hope you don't mind it. It's also a thank you for taking care of me all this time. You're too kind. You're my employee. It's normal for me to take care of you, Su Yu said in a formal tone. President Su, please accept it. Nie Lingxian was a very shy girl. She was very nervous, so she held the box with both hands and bowed to Su Yu. It made Su Yu feel very awkward. People came and went in the office, and everyone looked at them strangely. In the end, Su Yu had no choice but to take it. Thank you for your gift. After speaking, Su Yu turned around and walked into his office. She placed the chocolates on the desk without any intention of opening them. Su Yu bit her lip and turned on her phone's screensaver. The female doctor who wore a white coat and colored glasses was still his obsession for the past 4 years. Happy Valentine's Day, Dr. Hua. During the 4 Valentine's Days when Qin Chu wasn't around, Su Yu would try his best to send Huamin gifts every year to make her happy. Although she never accepted Valentine's Day gifts, Su Yu still felt happy to be able to accompany her. But this year, President Su, aren't you going to prepare a gift for President Hua this year? And asked. Go give the box of hairy crabs that someone gave me yesterday to Huamian. Other than giving her her favorite seafood, Su Yu knew that there was nothing else he could do for her. At this moment, Qin Ning and Tang Chuan were already on their way back to the United States. She thought that her beautiful Valentine's Day could only be spent on a boring long-distance flight. Who knew? Qin Ning took a nap and woke up to find that Tang Chuan was gone. Where did this guy go? Did he go to the bathroom? Qin Ning was puzzled. Just then, a familiar voice sounded on the plane's radio. Dear passengers, I'm sorry to take up a little of your time. Today is Valentine's Day, and I really want to sing a song for my beloved girlfriend. For her. It was the first time Qin Ning heard Tang Chuan speak in such a perfect English voice, and her heart immediately raced. Ning Ning, are you listening? He asked. Chapter 2399. Qin Ning's heart was filled with excitement. She never would have thought that Tang Chuan would do something like this. It was a huge surprise. Wow, whose boyfriend is this? He's so romantic. Some of the female passengers on the plane began to whisper. Qin Ning was filled with pride. She pursed her lips and lowered her head as she smiled shyly. She didn't know how Tang Chuan convinced the flight crew to use the radio to fool around. But she was sure that this young master was a romantic. He was much more romantic than young Master Su and young Master Wei. Just then, a beautiful melody began to play, followed by Tang Chuan's slightly raspy voice. As soon as he opened his mouth, it was breathtaking. Qin Ning was envious when she heard her brothers sing for Huamian. She heard that Su Yu also sang for Huamian for the first time at the anniversary celebration. Although she wasn't there at the time, she could imagine the romantic atmosphere. On the 8th of January, she witnessed Ni Yang and Chen Jie's wedding at the Yunding Mountain Hot Springs Hotel. As a professional singer, Ni Yang's voice was even more refreshing. However, to her surprise, as soon as Tang Chuan opened his mouth, Qin Ning felt like her heart was going to melt. She didn't expect such a carefree and frivolous man to sing so beautifully. Even the surrounding passengers couldn't help but scream. Wow, it's so nice. This guy is so nice to his girlfriend, so romantic. Such a nice boyfriend is usually someone else's. We can forget about it. This is Wang Liham's Big City, Small Love. This song is my favorite. He sang it so well. Compliments kept coming from the surrounding passengers. Qin Ning sat in the first-class cabin. Her hands tightly gripped the blanket as if she was nervous, shy, and sweet. Then, she closed her eyes and listened intently to every word Tang Chuan sang for her. My head is full of you, my heart is full of you, my little love is so sweet in the big city, my thoughts are all about you, everything is you, my little love is in the big city, my heart is only for you. After finishing the song, Tang Chuan slowly said, Ning Ning, I won't promise you that we'll be together forever. Because if a promise doesn't come true, then it's just empty words. So, I'm willing to use my actions to prove it. I'm willing to use the rest of my life to prove my feelings. In the future, we'll walk together. No matter what, I won't let go. Qi Ning's eyes were filled with tears. She was brought up by her father since she was young. Not only was she independent, but she was also very strong-willed. She had never been in a serious relationship in her entire life. When she was in school, there were many people who chased after her and adored her. However, she always refused because she prioritized her studies. After she started working, she became the chairman's daughter and the only woman on the board of directors. Her domineering aura made all the men who had fallen for her forget to take a step further. In fact, although Qi Ning didn't have to worry about food and clothing for the past 20 years, her love life was a complete blank. Even if she went to a friend's party, she would feel like a lonely person. Now, Tang Chuan was slowly filling the emptiness in her heart without any warning. He let her know that happiness could come from the heart and even overflow. When Tang Chuan walked out and returned to his seat, all the passengers on the plane applauded him. There was even an American couple. The old lady praised him in English, "Young man, you're good." Tang Chuan nodded and thanked everyone. When he returned to his seat, he saw that Qi Ning's eyes were red. At that time, he was even shocked. Chapter 2400. Oh my God, what's going on? My dear lady, was my singing that bad? You scared me to tears. Tang Chuan asked. Qi Ning was teased by him, and her tears immediately turned into laughter. It's not like that, don't tease me, Qi Ning said as she wiped her tears. Oh, why are you crying? If I didn't know any better, I would have thought that I was bullying you. Today is Valentine's Day, can we be a little happier? After speaking, Tang Chuan pressed the button. A beautiful stewardess walked over and asked with a smile, "What would you like?" 2 glasses of red wine. Thank you. Tang Chuan was in a very good mood, and he really wanted to drink with Qi Ning. After a while, the stewardess brought over the red wine, and Tang Chuan carefully took it. He put 1 glass in front of him and handed the other to Qi Ning. Come, Ning Ning, let's drink. Qi Ning took the glass and glanced at Tang Chuan. You sing really well. Really? If it's good, I'll sing it for you often. After speaking, Tang Chuan continued, I'll sing for you every Valentine's Day, okay? Qi Ning suddenly felt even sweeter. She didn't say anything, and she just nodded shyly. Cheers. Tang Chuan smiled and clinked glasses with Qi Ning. Qi Ning picked up the glass and took a small sip. Then she heard Tang Chuan say, I performed so well today, shouldn't you give me some benefits? What benefits do you want? Qi Ning looked at him, amused. I'm very easy to satisfy, and I'm not greedy at all. How about, you give me a child or something? After hearing Tang Chuan's words, Qi Ning almost spat out the red wine in her mouth. Give him a child? How was that not greedy? This Tang Chuan was really shameless. You don't get so excited, I'm just teasing you. Seeing the subtle changes in Qi Ning's expression, Tang Chuan couldn't help but laugh. When the 2 of them were together, it was always full of passion and the atmosphere was especially funny. Just as Tang Chuan was laughing, Qi Ning suddenly leaned forward and gently kissed him on the lips. Although it was just a light touch, Tang Chuan still felt as if his brain had been electrocuted. This was the first time Qi Ning had taken the initiative to kiss him. What just happened? Tang Chuan didn't dare to move. He looked at Qi Ning and asked seriously. Qi Ning giggled. Don't laugh, I'm serious. What happened just now? It happened too fast, I can't remember. Why don't you show me the scene again? Tang Chuan said deliberately. In your dreams. Don't push your luck. Qi Ning turned her head and said embarrassedly. Hey, is someone shy? Tang Chuan looked down at Qi Ning. Go, go, go. Let me see, your face is really red. Tang Chuan, do you want to die? Shut up. Just like that, the 2 of them played around like children playing house. In the end, Qi Ning leaned on Tang Chuan's shoulder and enjoyed the peace and beauty of this moment. Tang Chuan, yeah. If you go back with me this time, what if my dad gets angry and kicks you out? No way, I already agreed to be his live-in son-in-law. Why would he kick me out? Tang Chuan looked wronged. Didn't you sneak out in the middle of the night last time? My dad thinks you're not sincere to me. Plus, he's always had a bad temper. Maybe when he sees you he'll kick you out. What will you do then? Qin Ning looked at Tang Chuan worriedly. Chapter 2401. Okay, if you really want to kick me out, then I'll have to go. Tang Chuan purposely sighed. How can you be so indecisive? You'll leave just because I told you to? Obviously, Qin Ning was unhappy. I can't just stay at your place, right? I'm a grown-up. It's so embarrassing to be kicked out. Okay, do whatever you want. Qin Ning immediately stood up and stopped leaning on his shoulder. She was clearly unhappy. Seeing Qin Ning like this, Tang Chuan secretly laughed and continued, but I don't know anyone in Los Angeles. If you kick me out, I have nowhere to go. All I can do is wander around during the day and sneak into your room at night. Do you mind if I share a bed with you? Tang Chuan, you tricked me. Qin Ning finally realized that she had been tricked by Tang Chuan. She immediately raised her fist and punched him on his shoulder. The two of them openly displayed their love for each other, torturing a bunch of single people on the plane. On the other side, Huamin was being driven to the suburbs by Qin Chu. As the two drove through the city, Huamin noticed something strange. At first, she wasn't sure, so she took out her phone and looked at it. It's Valentine's Day today? Huamin muttered to herself. What's wrong? Seeing Huamin mumbling to herself, Qin Chu tilted his head and asked her. Honey, it's Valentine's Day today, right? Yeah. But why aren't there any roses on the streets? Even the flower shops aren't selling them. It's so strange. Huamin looked at the people on the street, the couples holding hands, and the girls holding lilies and baby stars. She didn't even see a single bouquet of roses. This was too strange. Roses were everywhere on Valentine's Day every year. No matter if it was red roses, blue roses, or pink roses, the streets would be filled with roses. Roses represented love. Why was it this year? Oh really? I didn't pay much attention to it. Qin Chu answered casually while driving. Huamin didn't give up. He opened his phone and scrolled through his WeChat moments. As expected, the couples in their WeChat moments were also posting lilies, and they were all complaining that they couldn't buy roses. Jixin was pursuing Bella, so he originally planned to order 99 roses and confess to her. Who would have thought that they wouldn't be able to book it? Jing Jixin, Valentine's Day is so weird this year. Roses can't be bought, and money is a luxury. Can someone tell me what's going on? Jiang Xiaowei posted a photo of the limited edition Cartier couple bracelet that Wei Liao had given her. Next to it was a bouquet of roses made of gold. She said, roses can't be bought this year, so my husband generously ordered gold roses. Although it's old-fashioned, I'm still very touched. Zhu Lingling posted a table of food, red wine, and a bucket of popcorn. She wrote, we're an old married couple, so it's okay that we don't have roses. I'd be happy even if this man gave me popcorn. After all, we're going to spend the rest of our lives together. She scrolled down and saw that Chinjia had also posted lilies and a diamond necklace. The only one who posted roses was Cece. However, Cece was already far away in New Orleans. She held a giant red rose and smiled happily. She wrote, he's full of fire and courage, but in the end he's still willing to return to normal for me. Thank you, my great hero. Huamin liked all of them. Then, he put away his phone and said to Qin Chu, honey, other than Cece, no one else received roses. But Cece's in the States, so it doesn't count. What's going on? Could it be that someone had started to speculate in roses, just like gold? Did you hear any rumors? Chapter 2402. Huamin's imagination ran wild, thinking that someone was using roses to create hype. No, Mr. Qin replied nonchalantly. Okay, pretend I didn't say anything. Huamin saw that Mr. Qin wasn't interested in the topic, so he didn't say anything else. An hour later, the two drove to a manor in the suburbs. Honey, what are we doing here? A farmhouse? Fishing and eating? Huamin didn't understand. Looking at the mountain village in the middle of nowhere, he didn't know what Mr. Qin was up to. Come with me, After Qin Chu parked the car, he held Huamin's hand and walked out. "Mr. Qin, you're here." At the door, a man in his 40s saw Qin Chu and greeted him. "Is everything ready?" Qin Chu asked him. "It's all ready, Mr. Qin. You and Mrs. Qin can go in." "Okay." Qin Chu nodded, holding Huamin's hand as they walked in through the door. Only then did Huamin realize that they were in a simple manner. After walking in, it was a very dark and narrow path. It was a little dark. If it weren't for Qin Chu by her side, she would have been scared. "Honey, where are we going? This place is so scary," Huamin whispered. Qin Chu didn't answer and just walked forward in silence. After walking for about 4 or 5 minutes, the path ahead began to light up. Huamin saw a glass door. It was big and beautiful. However, because it was covered by green vines, they couldn't see what was inside. At the glass door, Qin Chu held Huamin's hand and slowly stopped walking. "Why aren't we walking?" Huamin was curious. You guess what's inside?" Is it a vegetable garden? A pure green vegetable garden?" Huamin guessed. Pudding and Little Bean loved vegetable gardens like this, so they often came here to pick strawberries and tomatoes to eat. Huamin thought that Qin Chu had invested in a vegetable garden and wanted her to take a look and give him some advice. After hearing Huamin's words, Qin Chu only smiled. "Close your eyes, I'll take you in." "Why are you being so secretive? Is it necessary?" Huamin thought it was funny. "It's necessary," Qin Chu ordered her like a child. "I'll close." Unable, Huamin couldn't dissuade Qin Chu, so she closed her eyes. Then, Qin Chu slowly opened the glass door. Qin Chu's Qin Chu and means. After walking for about 20 to 30 steps, Qin Chu found a perfect spot and stopped. Then, he gently said, "Mian, you can open your eyes now." After hearing this, Huamin slowly opened her eyes. Instantly, she was stunned. In front of her was a sea of roses. In the middle was the blue enchantress, then the pink rose wrapped around the blue enchantress, and then the champagne rose. In the end, the entire mountain was covered in red roses, blooming brilliantly. Under their feet was a high platform. Looking down, they could see a mountain full of flowers. This place was actually a huge rose garden. When they came in, Huamin was fooled by the simple house and door. She thought it was just a vegetable garden. Who knew that there was a whole other world inside? Why are there so many roses? Huamin was so surprised that she couldn't speak properly. Qin Chu was behind her. He gently hugged her waist and whispered in her ear, "I bought out all the roses and planted them in this sea of flowers. Today, only you can have roses." After hearing this, Huamin's eyes flashed with tears. Chapter 2403. Honey, aren't we being too extravagant? Huamin's voice was slightly shaky as she turned her head and pressed her cheek against Qin Chu's handsome side profile. Honey, we're already being very low-key. Qin Chu whispered in her ear. Indeed, for a CEO with a net worth of hundreds of billions of yuan to give his beloved wife a sea of roses on Valentine's Day, he was already being very low-key. Every year on Valentine's Day, there would be news that would make the headlines. For example, a rich man gave a million-yuan sports car to chase after a female lead. For example, a rich woman chased after a male idol and booked all the advertising spots in the city to show her love. For example, a rich man chased after a female straight-A student who came back from abroad with a high degree. He even used a helicopter and threw money at her. Tens of thousands of people fought over her. Compared to those people who liked to play to the gallery, Qin Chu's approach was indeed much more low-key. Most importantly, it was his style. "It's so beautiful here. It feels like a fairy tale." Huamin felt like she was dreaming as she looked at the sea of roses in front of her. "Honey, I'm sorry that I missed Valentine's Day for 4 years. But from now on, I won't miss it again." Qin Chu thought about how he was recovering in the States and felt very guilty towards Huamin. "Hey, let's not talk about the past. You have your reasons and you don't want to be separated from me. I don't blame you, just cherish what you have now. I'm very easy to satisfy, really. I don't want anything else in this life. I just want to be with you and the twins as they grow up." If there's a chance, I also want to be reunited with Yen and Dad. My life will be complete. Huamin made a beautiful wish. I will. Don't worry, I will make all of your wishes come true. Qin Chu hugged Huamin tightly as he thought about the wish he made when he was young. His biggest wish in life was to help Huamin fulfill her wishes. Whether she wanted to be a doctor or find her family, he would do everything for her. The two of them sat at a long dining table by the cliff of the glass room. Qin Chu ordered the servants to prepare steak and red wine. The atmosphere was very good. Huamin hadn't drunk in a long time, so she was especially excited today. She took the initiative to pour herself a cup. Honey, I'm happy today. Can I drink a little more? Huamin stuck out her tongue and asked Qin Chu's permission. Sure. Wow, this is great. I haven't been in such a good mood in a long time. So drinking really depends on your mood. I want to be a drunkard today, and then you can carry me home, ha. Qin Chu looked at the childish Huamian gently, and his heart was filled with warmth. Huamin, who had always been low-key, took out her phone and started taking selfies. She took a romantic picture of a sea of flowers, and another one of her making a peace sign with her mouth in Qin Chu's arms. A faint smile appeared on Qin Chu's face, and his eyes were filled with a rare happiness. Then, Huamin posted the pictures before dinner. Qin Chu, who never liked to post on his WeChat moments, also used Huamin's pictures and posted them on his WeChat moments. Huamin wrote in her WeChat moments, "Today, I have a sea of flowers." Then, her WeChat moments exploded with comments one after another. Chapter 2404. Zhu Lingling, what the fuck, what did I just see? Are those roses? They're blinding my 24K aluminum eyes. Jiang Xiaowei, no wonder we couldn't get any roses. President Qin bought all of them. He's so rich. Wei Liao, you two are so lovey-dovey. Even a married man like me can't stand it. Gao Ran, people who don't show off their love are the scariest. Because when they do, it's their ultimate move. They're going to destroy us anytime. Jixin, sis, those are roses. No wonder I couldn't get any. Can you sell me 99 roses? I'm waiting online. And Yang, me too. Cici, wow, it's a sea of flowers. Mian, I have to criticize you. How can you take pictures of such a beautiful scene? Pouting and acting cute is outdated. Bella, President Qin is so cool. Yang, you can tell when the boss makes a move. Boss, you're the boss after all. You're so cool. Little Bean, wow, what did I just see? Daddy and Mommy not only snuck out to have some alone time, but they're also playing the romance of the century. I bet 10 packs of Oreos that our little brother or sister is about to show up. Pudding, I give full marks to Daddy for this surprise. It's amazing. He's so arrogant. Other than Mommy, no other woman can get roses tonight. Then jade agate? Beeswax? Clam? Buddhist beads? Jade bracelets? Then Huamian listed all the precious jewelry she had. However, Mr. Qin still shook his head. Huh? None of them. Then, is it food? Huamin asked. Honey, if you can ask this question, it means that your IQ is not as good as it used to be. Qin Chu said in all seriousness. Haha. Huamin couldn't help but laugh. Don't give up, keep guessing. Qin Chu continued to encourage her. It's really too hard. Let me think, huh? Is it an antique? Is it something you were so busy buying at the auction? Huamin's imagination went wild and expanded the scope of the question. None of them. Is it something you really like? I promise that you'll be very happy when you see it. Qin Chu purposely acted mysterious, making Huamin's heart itch. Honey, please, tell me, I really want to know. Huamin finally begged for mercy. Chapter 2405. You can open it and see for yourself. Mr. Qin pushed the delicate little box in front of Huamin. The truth was, no matter how expensive Qin Chu's gift was, Huamin wouldn't be surprised anymore. With the couple's current net worth, they could afford any kind of pearls and diamonds. Their love for each other couldn't be measured by money. The more expensive something was, the better. Huamin knew Qin Chu well. To make up for his absence from Valentine's Day for the past 4 years, Qin Chu prepared a huge surprise for her. He bought out all the roses so that no one else could buy them. Not only that, he also prepared a mysterious gift. Therefore, Huamin had great expectations for this gift. She really wanted to know what Mr. Qin prepared for her. Can I? Huamin was pleasantly surprised. Of course you can, only you have the right to open it. Don't control yourself, just open it. Qin Chu smiled at Huamin. Huamin excitedly took the box, took a deep breath, and slowly opened it. The moment she saw what it was, Huamin froze. Then, tears began to roll down her cheeks, and her tears turned into pearls. Honey, how can this be? How can this be? Huamin was so excited that she couldn't speak properly. Do you like it? Qin Chu calmly looked at his wife's surprised face. Yes, yes. Huamin didn't know what to say, so she nodded furiously. It turned out that this wasn't jewelry, pearls, or diamonds. It was just a pair of ordinary hairpins. Girls used them to decorate their hair. They were made of ordinary iron, and they looked exactly the same when placed side by side. They were long, and each one had 6 small red roses on it. The craftsmanship was exquisite. The color was incomparable, but why did these ordinary-looking roses make Huamin so excited? It turned out that when they were young and first started dating, they gave each other a Valentine's Day. At that time, they were both students, so they didn't give each other anything too expensive. Although Qin Chu came from a wealthy family, he wouldn't give Huamian any extravagant gifts. At that time, Huamin's hair was also flowing in the wind. Qin Chu saw this pair of rose hairpins when he was shopping. He wrapped them up and gave them to Huamin. Huamian didn't know what they meant at that time. Until Zhu Lingling reminded her of the song, The Most Beautiful, that was sung by the Yuchuan group, which was extremely popular at that time. There was one line in the song's lyrics, I gave you 12 roses, each one is as beautiful as you are. Qin Chu wanted to tell her that she was the most beautiful woman in his heart. Huamin also really liked this ordinary-looking gift because Qin Chu had carefully chosen it. So that day, when she wore the hairpins on her hair for the first time, it stunned and softened the passing of time. Later on, Qin Chu gave Huamin many other gifts, but her favorite was still this pair of rose hairpins. Until the day before their high school graduation, they originally planned to go abroad together, but Huamin completely broke up with Qin Chu because of her stepfather's car accident. At the graduation ceremony, she publicly announced that she was breaking up with Qin Chu. From then on, Huamian was just a passerby. In order to make Qin Chu give up, she pulled the pair of rose hairpins off her head in front of all her classmates and fiercely threw them on the ground. The rose petals instantly shattered, just like Qin Chu's heart. It hurt so much that it couldn't heal. Later on, Huamin turned and left, leaving Qin Chu all alone. Chapter 2406. He knelt down and picked up the scattered roses. For the first time in his life, he felt so sad that he couldn't breathe. Then, Qin Chu went abroad, and they parted for 7 years. The stories of his youth were always like strong wine. They came strong and left indifferently. Many years later, Huamin would still feel guilty whenever she thought about what she did. She would regret destroying the gift that was so important to her. Now that Qin Chu presented it to her with both hands, how could Huamin not be moved and shed tears? The reason for that was because to the two of them, that item held extraordinary significance. It was extremely important. Honey, where did you get this thing? Back then, before Huamin could finish her sentence, she paused. If Qin Chu had someone redo it or buy it, it would have looked brand new. It wouldn't have looked so old like it was now. Therefore, Huamin made a bold guess. This was the pair of hair clips that she broke back then. As expected, Qin Chu nodded and said, After you broke it, I carefully picked it up and kept it with me. Last night, after you fell asleep, I went to the study and glued it back together. Although it's not as new as before, it's still the same. Nothing can replace it. Huamin carefully took out the hair clips, placed them in her hands, and gently stroked them. And she couldn't help but cry. Don't cry, we should be happy. Qin Chu picked up a tissue and gently wiped Huamin's tears. Yes, we should be happy. Honey, did you know? Out of all the gifts you gave me, This is my favorite. Huamin's voice trembled as she looked up at Qin Chu. I know. Qin Chu's tone was gentle. Then do you know why this is my favorite? Huamin asked again. Because when I was a student, I bought it with the money I earned from playing piano for a day. I didn't use my parents' money. Qin Chu seemed to know Huamin very well. Huamin excitedly held onto Qin Chu's arm and nodded. Yes, because you used your own money. You're such an arrogant person, but you were willing to play piano for a day just to buy me a gift. Do you know how I felt when Gao Ran told me? Qin Chu gently stroked Huamin's long hair with a smile. I'm thinking, I want to cherish a man who's willing to lower himself for me and love me for the rest of my life. Huamian couldn't help but burst into tears again. Dr. Hua, are you confessing to me again? Qin Chu teased her. Honey, thank you for letting me see it again. I thought I would never get it back. Huamin sobbed as she leaned into Qin Chu's arms. Don't cry. Here, let me put it on for you. Qin Chu carefully wiped away Huamin's tears. Then he picked up 2 hairpins and put them on Huamin's hair. Huamin lovingly reached out to touch the hairpins on her head as if she had received a precious gift. I told you would be happy to see it. Qin Chu smiled from the bottom of his heart. Yes, even after so many years, it's still my favorite gift. Huamin said as she stood up and hugged Qin Chu's broad waist tightly. Then she kissed him deeply. Chapter 2407. The 12 roses I prepared, each one as beautiful as you. Your beauty is silent, unknowingly making me follow you. Baby, this time I'm in love, I'm at a loss, but I don't regret it. In such a beautiful glass room by the cliff, looking at the roses blooming all over the sky. With a precious gift on my head, I'm listening to such a touching old song. Huamin suddenly felt that if time stopped at this moment, she would be the happiest person in the world. Originally, it wasn't big news that no one could buy roses in the city, but Huamin posted the roses on her WeChat moments. One person spread 10, and 10 people spread 100, and this news spread. Some media outlets began to report on it, and on Valentine's Day, all the media outlets were reporting on it. GK's president and his wife show their love in a low-key manner, buying all the roses in a domineering manner. I'm going to buy all the roses so no one can buy roses. Qin Chu's beloved wife proclamation. A sea of roses for the love of his life, Qin clan couple show their love to a new level. The clear water wrinkles because of the wind, green mountains never grow old, rich people have true love, rich people have true love. President Qin Chu bought all the roses in the city to make his wife smile, just to give her a different Valentine's Day present. In short, the chicken soup for the soul on WeChat moments that night were all soft posts. Huamin and Qin Chu appeared on the news again, although they really didn't want to be high profile. Huamin didn't realize that her WeChat moments was about to explode until she and Qin Chu were on their way back from dinner. Many fans even left comments on Weibo, making her feel helpless. Imperial Star Headquarters, Su, you didn't deliberately work overtime, but he did have 2 meetings in a row, and it was already 7 p.m. when he got off work. Seeing that it was too late, he didn't pick up the twins. After sending Pudding a WeChat message, he drove away from the company within Valentine's Day, which was full of single people on the streets, was really uncomfortable for a single person like him. Even at the old mansion, his parents would go out on romantic dates and have candlelight dinners. His friends were also in pairs. He opened his WeChat moments. Wei Liao and Jiang Xiaowei were deeply in love with each other. Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling showed their love for each other. Qin Chu and Huamin were deeply in love with each other. And Ai Yang and Chen Jie showed off their love. Even the unreliable Master Tang, who was previously a playboy, didn't forget to show off his love when he was changing planes. What kind of world was this? President Su, are you in a bad mood? And looked at Su Yu with a straight face. I suddenly feel like drinking, but unfortunately, it's hard to find someone who can drink. Old Wei is at home with his wife. Tang Chuan, that brat, went to America with his girlfriend. President Su, how about I drink with you, and said quietly, if you're drunk too, who's going to protect me? Su Yu joked. Okay, I'm just joking with you. Let's go, I'm tired from working overtime. Let's go get a drink. Su Yu didn't deliberately make fun of him. When they passed by Dizun nightclub, he parked his car in front of the entrance. After Rick left, Seductive Fox's business wasn't as good as before, and Tang Chuan didn't manage it well either. Therefore, all the rich heirs and rich people came to the newly opened Dizun. It was Su Yu's first time here, but everyone in the nightclub knew who he was. Lord Su is here. Please come in. The lobby manager looked as if he saw the god of fortune and invited Su Yu and an inside. Chapter 2408. Lord Su reserved the best private room for you. It's on the top floor. It's okay, it's just the two of us. The private room is too big. Let's just sit at the bar for a while. It'll be lively. Su Yu waved his hand. He walked into the bar within, and the manager opened a booth for them. The bar was very lively. Waves of explosive disco music were playing, and men and women in revealing clothes were twisting their bodies under the flashing lights. Without Su Yu's instructions, the manager ordered people to bring in a lot of drinks and fruit plates. If you like any girl, go and flirt with her yourself. Don't be shy, don't suppress yourself, Su Yu said as he ate sunflower seeds. It's okay, President Su. I'm not that lucky. And shook his head. He wanted to sit here for a while and then leave, but he didn't expect to see an acquaintance here. Big brother Su Yu. A clear female voice called out. Su Yu turned his head and saw Wei Ying. Beside her stood a tall girl. Why are you here? Su Yu asked. I'm single too. I'm here with my friends. Why are you here? Wei Ying had a lot of bad friends and had a lot of fun, but she didn't expect to see Su Yu here. After all, he wouldn't easily come to a place with so many people. Oh, nothing, I'm just here to see. Su Yu was close to Wei Liao, so he had known Wei Ying since they were young. Wei Ying would also call him Big Brother when they met. Then, can we share a table with you? Wei Ying asked with a smile. Su Yu nodded with a bottle of beer in his hand. Wei Ying immediately led the girl to Su Yu's table. Let me introduce you to my good friend, Zhang Wanyu. She's an internet celebrity. She's the most popular streamer on a live streaming platform and has tens of millions of fans. She's even been on a TV show. Wei Ying strongly recommended her best friend. Hello, young Master Su. The girl looked gentle and had the standard face of an internet celebrity. She was indeed very good-looking, but she wasn't easily recognizable. She might not be able to recall anything after a glance. Su Yu nodded and didn't say anything. He just looked at the center of the dance floor. Haven't you always wanted to achieve enlightenment? My brother, Su Yu, is a media tycoon. Most of the popular actresses were groomed by him. Do you know Xianxia? She's an actress from Imperial Star, Wei Ying said proudly. I know. Young Master Su has always been the idol of many of us girls. The girl shyly looked at Su Yu and smiled. Big brother Su Yu, is it true that you're with the new star, Xianxia? Wei Ying asked casually. Of course not, Su Yu replied indifferently. I knew it. If you were really in a relationship, my brother would know. But when I asked him the other day, he said it wasn't. But you've been single for a few years now, right? Haven't you thought about getting a girlfriend or something? Wei Ying purposely looked at her best friend as she asked. The girl also looked at Su Yu expectantly, as if she was waiting for his answer. It's good to be single. Women are troublesome sometimes. Su Yu took a sip of beer. Wei Ying and her best friend immediately felt awkward. By the way, Big Brother Su Yu, do you know why we can't buy any roses in the city today? Wei Ying asked mysteriously. Su Yu's eyes flashed, but he didn't say anything. His hand that was holding the beer moved slightly. Chapter 2409. Before Hua Xiqin could speak, Wei Ying said, I heard that Qin Chu bought out all the roses to give his wife a surprise. Tsk, he's so arrogant, as if he's the only rich one. Why does he have to be so ostentatious? Big brother Su Yu is so rich, but I don't see him flaunting his wealth. To be honest, I'm starting to despise them more and more. Sometimes I think they're so hypocritical. Wei Ying didn't like Huamin because of Hui Yanyan's relationship with Hui Yanyan. However, she ignored Su Yu's feelings for Huamin, therefore, she didn't even notice the subtle changes on Su Yu's face when she spoke without thinking. And gave her a few looks, but she didn't see it at all. I heard that she went to a third-rate university. She didn't even study abroad. She's a country bumpkin, and she's a doctor. How can she be compared to my sister-in-law? My sister-in-law got her doctorate from overseas. She's a famous psychologist, and even the leaders of the Municipal Public Security Bureau have to be polite to her. Plus, her parents are both famous professors. Huamin should look at himself in the mirror. How can he show off his love on Valentine's Day? In my opinion, she's going to be a mistress sooner or later. After all, it's taboo for a woman to not have a son after marrying into a rich family. Qin Chu will have another woman sooner or later. When that happens, she'll cry her heart out. Wei Ying had always been vicious with her words, but because they hadn't interacted much before, Su Yu didn't have any conflicts with her. Now, she was so arrogant that she insulted Huamin in front of Su Yu. She had crossed the line with Su Yu. And stared at his boss cautiously and saw that his boss's face was turning green. However, Wei Ying was still talking with relish. And broke out in cold sweat for her. After Wei Ying finished, she looked at Su Yu gleefully. Big brother Su Yu, am I right? Wei Ying was jealous because she heard that Qin Chu bought all the roses because he loved his wife. She was jealous, so she spoke viciously. I think Huamian gave birth to 2 girls, but you didn't have any children after you married into the Shen family. Don't call me the pot calling the kettle black, Su Yu said slowly. Big brother Su Yu, what are you talking about? Wei Ying understood what he was talking about. Su Yu brought up the fact that she didn't have any children after marrying into the Shen family. Everyone in the Wei family knew that this was Wei Ying's sore spot. Women, you shouldn't be so vicious. How much pain do you have in your heart that you can't bear to see other people living well? Huamin doesn't have a degree or looks. What does that have to do with you? Does it bother you? You're making it sound like you're very close to her. You even brought up your sister-in-law. I used to think that Shen Mingxi was wrong to divorce you because he didn't want you. After all, you've given your heart to him. It's very pitiful that you were forced into a divorce. Now I understand. He made the right choice by not wanting you. Any normal man wouldn't want a woman like you. After all, no one wants to cause trouble for themselves. Wei Ying was dumbfounded by Su Yu's words. Chapter 24:10. Big brother Su Yu. She wasn't prepared for this at all when Su Yu scolded her. Don't keep calling me Big brother Su Yu. I'm only talking to you because I'm giving your brother face. But don't be so shameless. Then, Su Yu got up, kicked the chair he was sitting on and left. And stood up and followed him silently, seeing the boss's livid face, and knew that if Wei Ying wasn't Wei Liao's biological sister and a woman, he would have been furious. The boss would have been furious. What's wrong? Why did you piss young Master Su off? Aren't you guys close? The internet celebrity asked in a low voice. How the fuck would I know? Wei Ying roared, feeling wronged. Walking out of the bar, Su Yu wasn't in the mood at all. And, take me back to my mansion and drive my car home. Pick me up tomorrow morning. Okay, boss. Seeing his boss in a bad mood, and didn't dare to say more. He drove Su Yu back to his private mansion. When Su Yu came out of the shower, he saw a lot of messages on WeChat. Most of them were red packets and blessings from artists in the company and some from friends in the industry. Su Yu clicked on them and saw Nie Lingshuan's red packet. It was 520 yuan. He frowned slightly and sent Nie Lingxian a red packet. It was 888 yuan. Thank you, President Su. After receiving the red packet, Nie Lingxian sent a smiley face. She seemed to be in a good mood. Work hard. The company won't mistreat you. You're a smart woman. I hope you won't follow in Jian Tong's footsteps. Su Yu rarely spoke to female artists. Nie Lingxian fell into deep thought when she heard the last sentence. She didn't know what Su Yu meant. Was he asking her not to be as scheming and high-profile as Jian Tong or not to pester him like Jian Tong? Rest early, President Su. Good night. Nie Lingxian didn't dare to say more and only said good night quietly. Su Yu did not reply to her. Su Yu took out his phone and scrolled through his WeChat moments. Then, he repeatedly looked at Huamin's profile picture. It was a family photo of the four of them. She didn't know when it was taken, but the family of four was wearing national clothes. Qin Chu was wearing a green robe, and Huamin was wearing a green cheongsam. Her hair was combed into a vintage bun, which made her look exceptionally elegant. The two little fellows were also wearing the uniform of the Republic of China. They were identical little cheongsams, which were extremely cute. Such a happy family of four. Su sighed slightly. After thinking for a long time, he opened Huamin's profile picture. She typed, "Happy Valentine's Day." But after writing it, he felt that it was inappropriate and deleted it. In the end, he didn't tell Huamin anything. He knew that he should not disturb her. He missed her silently in his heart. Perhaps this was the best for them. Late at night, Huasiqian's quality of sleep was getting worse and worse. He got up and walked to his study in his luxurious nightgown. He opened his drawer and took out a white bottle of pills. With trembling hands, he took out 3 or 4 pills and swallowed them all. Although the doctor advised him to only take 1 pill a day, 1 pill was no longer effective for him. He had to use more tricks. Huasiqian took off his gold-rimmed glasses and sat in front of his desk in the study. Many things had happened recently, especially Mo Shui's death. It made him feel a little guilty. He even thought about it repeatedly. If he didn't support Mo Shui and didn't let her walk down this path, she wouldn't have ended up like this. Ian gave him a month, and the countdown had already begun. So, what was he supposed to do? Mian, my Mian, tell me, what should I do? Huasiqian looked at Huamin's profile picture and muttered to himself. Chapter 24:11. On Valentine's Day, Huasiqian didn't do anything. He didn't text or call Huamin. What's more, he didn't give Huamian any gifts. Boss, don't we need to prepare a Valentine's Day gift for Miss Huamin? Huasiqian's henchmen all knew about his obsession with Huamin. It's Valentine's Day today. We're not lovers, so I don't need to prepare a gift for her, Huasiqian said casually as he played with 2 walnuts in his hand. Yes. You and Miss Hua are family. Of course, you'll love her more than anyone else, the henchman said flatteringly. However, it was very effective, Huasiqian smiled. Yes, we'll be family for life. We'll be together forever. The whole corporation had been much more low-key lately. Although the police had investigated and monitored them because of the Xiang family incident and Mo Shui's death, they didn't find anything. However, they didn't find anything. Huasiqian had been a law-abiding citizen. When Mo Shui died, he even followed the wishes of her fans and held a grand funeral for her. He even gave the Mo family a large sum of money. People who didn't know better would think that Huasiqian had changed his career to become a philanthropist. After Huamin and Qin Chu spent some alone time together, it was already past 9 p.m. when they got home. The twins were still awake and playing with their grandparents in the living room. Little Bean had always been the naughty one. She had been playing with the hoverboard that her daddy bought her and was having a lot of fun. Pudding, on the other hand, was bored after playing with it for a while. Then, she leaned on the sofa and played with her phone. Pudding, you can't always play games on your phone. You'll be nearsighted. You'll have to wear glasses. You're so pretty it'll affect your looks. Grandma tried to scare Pudding. Grandma, I'm not playing games. I'm reading some financial advice. It'll help the stock market tomorrow. Also, can we have surgery to correct nearsightedness? The surgery only takes 20 seconds. It's the best in the US. There's no pain or loss. So, you don't have to worry about us, Pudding comforted her grandma with a smile. This child. Old Madame Qin was also helpless. Grandma, you don't have to persuade Pudding. She's the 3rd smartest person in our family. Other than Daddy and Mommy, no one can control her. Little Bean tried to persuade her grandma as she played with the hoverboard. Old and young children, what a lively scene. You two are so smart. No wonder your grandma said that she can't keep up with your thoughts. It seems that our generation is really old. How is this looking at our granddaughter? It's almost like our granddaughter is looking at us. Mrs. Qin laughed. Look at how smart they are. They don't look like they'll be taken advantage of. Let's not worry about them. Our children and grandchildren will take care of themselves. Grandpa looked at the twins lovingly and sighed. Grandpa, to be honest, have you ever thought about having a grandson? Little Bean mischievously slid the hoverbike in front of her grandpa and wrapped her arms around his neck. Oh, that's an offensive question. I'm not going to answer. Old Master Qin wasn't senile. He knew that it was a trap, so he didn't answer. Grandpa, just say it. I'm not angry. Pudding won't be angry either. We've talked about this in private. Don't think of us as shallow people, okay? How childish would we be if we didn't let our parents have a second child? Little Bean rolled her eyes. Little one, you're smart. Grandma chuckled. Chapter 24:12. To be honest, I'm not in good health. If it weren't for your mommy and daddy who performed several difficult surgeries on me, I wouldn't be alive now. So, I'm very happy to be able to see my 2 cute granddaughters while I'm still alive. When people reach my age, they know that contentment is the best. Why would I be so greedy and ask for grandchildren? Old Master Qin said with a smile. His father is right. I think so too. Things are fine now. Your daddy and mommy are under a lot of pressure. They're busy with their own things every day. If they don't want to have children, we won't force them. Plus, we don't value boys over girls anymore. Boys and girls are our children. It's all the same, Grandma explained. Okay. It sounds like you're saying that it's great that they come, but you won't regret it if they don't come, right? Little Bean asked. You can say that. Grandpa smiled and picked up his teacup. I think your wish will come true. After all, Mr. and Mrs. Qin have been so lovey-dovey lately. If this continues, you won't have to worry about a second child. Little Bean said like an adult. Her words made Grandpa and Grandma laugh. Even Pudding, who was always calm, couldn't help but snicker. Little Bean, what are you talking about? Huamin pushed open the door and walked in. Oh no, I got caught red-handed. Little Bean immediately covered her mouth and didn't dare to say anything else. Qin Chu walked over and sat down beside Little Bean. He lovingly patted Little Bean's head and asked, How's the hoverboard? It's very easy, okay? After we got it back, my sister and I finished it in 3 minutes, Little Bean bragged. You took 3 minutes, but I took 45 seconds, okay? Pudding wasn't convinced. Qin Zhao Zhao, please don't embarrass me. After all, we were in the same womb. Little Bean felt very embarrassed. It's okay. I understand. Qin Chu looked at his daughter and smiled. Today's Valentine's Day with someone is so romantic. Where's the sea of flowers? Didn't they move out? Little Bean covered her mouth and snickered. She looked at her mommy and daddy. Huamin deliberately changed the topic. I think it's time for us to talk about Daddy buying a hover car for Gaoboy. Ahem. Mommy, I'm a little sleepy. I'm going upstairs to take a shower and sleep. Good night. Embarrassed, Little Bean turned around and ran upstairs. Pudding yawned, put away her phone, and got up. I'm going to keep an eye on her. Otherwise, she'll fill the bathroom with water again. Good night, Daddy, Mommy. Good night, Grandpa, Grandma. Pudding was relatively calm and had more concerns. After the children went upstairs, Huamin also sat down on the sofa. Mom, today is Valentine's Day. Did Dad give you a present? Huamin asked with a smile. Back then, we didn't celebrate any foreign festivals. It's nothing compared to what you have now. Besides, with your father's wooden fish, how would he know how to give me a present? Basically, he'll give you a credit card. He'll tell you to buy whatever you want, Mrs. Qin complained. Qin Chu put his arms around his mother's neck and sighed. So Dad's bossy CEO style was popular back then? What are you talking about? Look at the time. You two have work tomorrow, right? Go to bed early. Mr. Qin was embarrassed and lectured them with a straight face. Did Ning Ning call? Did Uncle Qin tell her that she's going back? Qin Chu suddenly thought of this. Ning Ning didn't call, but your second uncle did. He told me about the wedding, but I didn't know what was going on. Call him tomorrow and ask him what's going on. Qin Chu's father carefully tried to recall what happened. Chapter 24:13. Wedding? So soon? Qin Chu was slightly surprised. It's really soon. Why don't you ask Uncle Qin tomorrow? Huamin was also shocked. Okay, I'll call Uncle Qin tomorrow. Mom, Dad, you should go to bed early too. We're going upstairs. Then Qin Chu and Huamin went upstairs to rest. The next morning, after breakfast, the two of them drove to work. Since Ian left, Qin Chu didn't have to keep an eye on Huamin every day. Huamin drove his Audi R8 to Southside. After the morning meeting, he went downstairs to his office. Xianxia brought in a bunch of documents. Chief, there are a lot of patients today. I split them into morning and afternoon sessions. Please take a look at them first. Huamin nodded. Just then, there was a knock on the door. Hello, is this Dr. Hua's office? Huamin heard the familiar voice and looked up to see Hua Yanyan. Yanyan. She was slightly surprised. Chief, I'll go out first. Xianxia saw that Huamin had a friend, so she left and closed the door. Huamin got up and pulled a chair for Hua Yanyan. Sit down. I've been looking for you for a long time. It's really hard to find you. If I didn't come, I wouldn't have known that you were promoted to deputy director. Hua Yanyan smiled elegantly. She wore an apricot-colored suit and a luxurious scarf around her neck. She was dressed from head to toe in branded clothes. She looked the same as before, but she wasn't as high-profile and her taste had improved. After Hua Yanyan got together with Xianxia, she didn't have many chances to see Huamin. They never spoke on WeChat and only liked each other from time to time. Yesterday, on Valentine's Day, Huamin saw her post on WeChat. It seemed like they went hiking, barbecuing, and camping in the suburbs. The relationship between the two of them seemed to be very good. At least, she was living a good life now. Vice Director? That's just a title. I'm here as a specialist, just like any other doctor. Huamian smiled. Then, she got up and poured Hua Yanyan a glass of water. I've finished all the tea, and I didn't have time to buy more. Drink some water first. Okay, thank you. Yan, you came looking for me because you missed me, right? Huamin never thought that Hua Yanyan was here because she missed her. Because if that was the case, they could have just arranged a time to meet on WeChat. They wouldn't have come so abruptly. Hua Yanyan put down the glass in her hand and looked at Huamin seriously. Since you asked, I'll tell you. I did come here today to discuss something with you. Okay, go ahead. Before Mo Shui got into trouble, she came to me and gave me a bottle. Hua Yanyan calmly told Huamin about the deal she made with Mo Shui in private. She even took out the bottle of medicine and showed it to Huamin. Huamin took the small bottle, opened it, and sniffed. It does smell like her, but we need to test it carefully before we can be sure. I believe that she wanted to kill Hua Xiqian, but unfortunately, something happened to her before we could do anything. Now that she's dead, I don't dare to do anything on my own. However, this incident made me realize that Hua Xiqian does indeed have a mental illness. Maybe it's schizophrenia or something. He must have taken a lot of drugs to suppress it. Otherwise, Shui wouldn't have taken advantage of this. So, what are you trying to say? Huamin looked at Hua Yanyan and asked calmly. Chapter 24:14. Hua Xiqian, I know you want to get rid of Hua Xiqian as well. You and Qin Chu have been collecting evidence to bring him to justice and clear his name for Song Yishi's death. But have you thought about it? If he really is mentally ill, he won't be charged with murder. There's a loophole in our country's laws. Mentally ill people won't be held accountable. How do I know if he's faking it or if he's actually mentally ill? That's something that needs to be tested by the medical department. It's not as if he's mentally ill just because he takes a few pills and suffers from insomnia. Huamin thought Hua Yanyan was oversimplifying things. I don't care if he's mentally ill or not. All I want is to kill him, Hua Yanyan said slowly, her eyes filled with hatred. Seeing the hatred in Hua Yanyan's eyes, Huamin wasn't surprised. She knew from the very beginning that Hua Yanyan didn't spend so much effort to be with Xianxia just because she loved him, nor was it because she wanted to live a luxurious life. Most of it was because she wanted to take revenge on Hua Xiqian. Yanyan, I know you hate him, and I know you want revenge. But Hua Xiqian isn't that easy to bring down. Huamin knew that Hua Xiqian wasn't that easy to deal with after learning about Ian's relationship with Hua Xiqian. Mian, are you softening up? I know Hua Xiqian has always liked you. All these years, even though he's done a lot of horrible things, he only did them to us. He's always been loyal to you. He's even willing to give you his heart. I heard that he almost died because of you when C kidnapped you. So, you don't have the heart to do anything to him, right? No, that's two different things. No matter how he treats me, the damage he did to us will never be erased. My husband and I were separated for 4 years in a foreign country, and he still has old injuries on his legs. These are all thanks to him, I haven't forgotten. Let's work together then. With your help, we can get rid of him in a matter of minutes. Even if we can't kill him directly, we can make him lose everything. At least we can take back everything that belongs to the Hua family and not lose his heartless adopted son. Although Dad didn't treat him well all these years, he still grew up in the Hua family. How could he hurt Dad? If it weren't for him, Mum, see, and I wouldn't be in this situation today. I hate him to death. Hua Yanyan's eyes were hazy with tears as she spoke. Huamin knew that she wasn't faking it because she didn't need to in front of Huamin. Yanyan, I understand what you're thinking. But Hua Xiqian isn't that simple. There's a lot of power behind him. Before you hit a dog, you have to look at its owner first. I don't want to alert him, at least not before I'm confident. My husband has been collecting evidence of his crimes for a long time. There's a lot of evidence, but he's been waiting for the right opportunity. Huamin couldn't directly tell her everything about Ian. He could only tell Hua Yanyan that Hua Xiqian had a bigger master behind him. Unfortunately, Hua Yanyan didn't seem to be interested in these things. All she wanted was revenge. Fine, if you don't want to, then I'll do it myself. Anyways, I won't let him get away with it. Hua Yanyan sighed slightly. You don't have to say anything more. I understand your situation. That's all then. Sorry for disturbing you. Hua Yanyan seemed to be unhappy that Huamin didn't agree to work with her. When she left, she had a cold expression on her face. Huamin could only sigh slightly. She had her own problems as well. On the other hand, the twins went out with their grandparents and bodyguards to eat abalone at a high-end restaurant. Unexpectedly, they bumped into Hua Xiqian, who was also hosting a banquet. My babies, long time no see. Hua Xiqian squatted down and looked at the twins up close. Chapter 24:15. It's been thousands of years since I last came out for a meal, and now I'm having a meal with you. What a coincidence. Pudding said. Pudding inherited Huamin's calmness and Qinchu's arrogance, so she was born with a powerful aura and wasn't afraid of anything. Even when she was kidnapped by Huamin's men, she still knew how to observe her surroundings and persuade the big dumb guy. She was indeed an extraordinary child. It seems like you don't like me that much. Hua Xiqian smiled. Lady Qin and Old Master Qin were busy chatting with their friends and didn't notice that Hua Xiqian was interacting with his granddaughters. Of course, you know that every time we see you, our hearts are heavier than when we visit a grave. Why are you asking the obvious? Are you an idiot? Little Bean asked impolitely. Little Bean, don't you think it's rude to talk to your uncle like that? I'm sorry, I've never had an uncle like you. Don't flatter yourself. Little Bean turned her head away. Little Bean, I thought that after what happened last time, you'd change your opinion of me. After all, we've been through life and death together. We're revolutionary friends. Hua Xiqian tried to get closer to Little Bean. Don't try to get closer to me. It's not the same, okay? Even if we've been through life and death together 10 times, I still won't change my opinion of you. After all, you're always trying to kidnap my mommy. You're a big bad guy. Little Bean didn't forget to glare at Hua Xiqian. However, Hua Xiqian wasn't angry at all. In fact, he thought that the two sisters were too cute. I do want to kidnap your mommy. That's because your mommy is too nice. Su Yu also wants to kidnap your mommy, but you two are so nice to him. It's not fair. Hua Xiqian was slightly jealous. They were both chasing after Huamin and Qinchu's love rivals. Why was Su Yu treated like a godfather to the twins, but he was their uncle, who had the same surname as Huamin. Yet, he was scolded by the two little fellows as a big bad guy? Wasn't this too unreconciled? Please, don't compare yourself to handsome Su, okay? You really don't deserve it. Pudding had deep feelings for Suyu, so she didn't want to compare Huasiqian to Suyu. They even felt that it was blasphemy for Suyu to be mentioned at the same time as Suyu. That's right. How can you compare to our handsome Su? First of all, you don't have any love. You're not kind at all. You're so old but you can't find a wife, have parents, and don't have any children. That's right. You'll be alone in the future, and you won't have anyone to take care of you when you're old. Using the words of the fortune teller under the bridge, you're a jinx. Yes, dinks. Tisk tsk? You're so young but you're already so vicious. You're not like your mommy at all. At least she's gentler than you too. Huasiqian continued to laugh. My mommy won't lower herself to your level, okay? Get out of our way. You're so annoying. Little Bean was a bit impatient. She pulled her sister around Huasiqian, too lazy to say anything to him. Pudding, Little Bean, follow us. We're going upstairs to the private room. Qin Chu's parents didn't pay attention to Huasiqian. They only looked at their granddaughters and then went upstairs. Boss, should we get those two kids? This is a good opportunity. They only brought 2 bodyguards and a useless driver. We can definitely get them. Then, with the kids in our hands, Miss Hua will listen to you. Huasiqian's subordinate understood his boss very well. He tried to come up with a good idea to win his boss's appreciation. Huasiqian didn't say anything. He just quietly turned around. Chapter 24:16. Then, Huasiqian suddenly raised his right hand and slapped the subordinate's face. Immediately, he felt a sharp pain. If you dare to say something like that again, I won't forgive you. Huasiqian glared at him. Yes, I was wrong. He didn't do a good job of flattering Huasiqian, so it was inevitable that he would be slapped. Huasiqian turned around and walked out. Another subordinate behind him whispered to that person, Boss loves Miss Hua very much. Of course, he loves the 2 children very much. Don't say such things in the future. Boss will fly into a rage. You might not know this, but although Boss really wants Miss Hua, he doesn't want to do anything that will make her sad. He's afraid of hurting their relationship. But after being slapped, the man learned his lesson and didn't dare to say anything else. After Huasiqian got into the car, the driver drove off. He sat in the back seat, his showy fingers tapping on the edge of the luxury car, thinking about something. Suddenly, he took out his phone and dialed a number. It was the number of Huamin's office. Because he was in the middle of a house call, he was very busy, and there were patients and family members in the office. Therefore, he didn't have time to look at the caller ID before he picked up the call. Hello, this is the neurology department of Southside Recuperation Center. I'm Huamin, your attending physician. Her voice was very clear and smooth. Mia, he said in a hoarse voice. Huamin's expression changed slightly, and he immediately recognized Huasiqian's voice. Mia, I just saw Pudding and Little Bean. Your daughters are really... Huasiqian smiled. What do you want? Huamin heard him say this, and his heart was in his throat. I don't want to do anything. I just happened to run into them at dinner and said a few words to them. Pudding is very much like you. She's not afraid in the face of danger, and she's very mature at such a young age. Little Bean is very funny, she talks a lot, and her mouth is quite sharp, just like you. Huasiqian, don't touch my daughters, don't have any ideas about them, or I'll kill you. Huamin lowered his voice and said into the phone. Am I that kind of person to you? What do you think? Huamin asked coldly. I admit that I'm not a good person, but Mian, I've never wanted to hurt you, not in the past, and not in the future, really, Huasiqian said gently. He rarely explained things to anyone so seriously. I'm tired of hearing these words, Huasiqian, I won't believe you, I know you have Ian behind you. If you want to get on Ian's good side and tell him my real identity, then go ahead. We won't be led by the nose by you. We'll have to face this sooner or later, Qin Chu and I aren't afraid. Do you think I'll tell Ian? Huasiqian laughed bitterly. It's up to you to tell him or not. Huamin was ready to go all out. Lin's looking for you, and he's in a hurry. I think he's out of options and wants to force your father and Lu Yen to show up. Maybe he wants to carry out his destructive plan. But this has nothing to do with me. I told you before that I won't hand you over to Ian. I won't let anything happen to you, Huo Xiqian promised. If you really don't want to hurt me, then you shouldn't disturb me. You should stay away from my life. You've hurt me enough, Huo Min said slowly. Mian, you're being too cruel. I can't be as great as Su Yu. Really, I love you, so I have to have you. You'll only be happy if you're with me. Qin Chu can't protect you, he can't. Stop trying to drive a wedge between us. No matter what you say, I won't believe you. Huo Min thought Huo Xiqian was crazy. Calling him over the phone was ridiculous. Mian, if one day I die, will you be sad? Even if it's just a little bit? Huo Xiqian suddenly changed the topic and asked this sad question. Although they were on the phone, Huo Mian could feel the sadness in his voice. Chapter 24:17. I still have patients here, so I have to go now. Bye. Huo Mian didn't answer his question and hung up the phone. Huo Xiqian's question put Huo Min in a difficult position. If only she could bear to see Huo Xiqian die. When Huo Xi kidnapped them, Huo Xiqian was almost beaten to death by Huo Xi in order to protect her. He was seriously injured for so long and had to stay in the hospital for so long, but he didn't complain. To be honest, when she saw Huo Xiqian bleed non-stop, she was really close to dying. Huo Min couldn't bear to see Huo Xiqian die, but Huo Xiqian's question was something that Huo Min couldn't answer. If she said she was sad, she would give him a little hope. He would think that Huo Min still had feelings for her, and then he would fall deeper and deeper. She was never someone who liked to give others hope. This was reflected in Su Yu. If she said she wasn't sad, it would really hurt her. No matter how bad Huo Xiqian was, he still protected her with his life. Huo Min still couldn't bear to see her like this. Perhaps after becoming a mother, she was no longer as decisive and resolute as she was before. Dr. Hua, do I need to take any medicine? The patient asked anxiously. No. If it's not serious, I usually don't advise my patients to take medicine. After all, there are a lot of ingredients in this medicine that can stimulate the brain. Your current condition is only mild. I think you'll feel better after a few counseling sessions. I'll help you make an appointment with the psychiatrist in our hospital. Can you try a few sessions first? Huo Min looked at the woman patiently. Thank you, Dr. Hua. You're welcome. The woman nodded politely at Huo Min. Then, she took the patient's record and left. Chen Jia walked in with a cup of milk tea. Chief, let's take a break. There's still a lot of patients coming in. I don't know what's going on. Is it because it's spring? Why are there so many patients in our department all of a sudden? It's really strange. Huo Min took the milk tea and took a sip. That's not surprising. There are many patients with depression in the first place. It's just that our people didn't know much about it in the past, especially in the remote mountain villages. Those people treated it as a serious cold, but it became more and more serious. Now that there are more patients, it means that everyone's thinking has improved. It's a good thing to get treatment early. Luckily, the girl was smart enough to find an opportunity to escape and call the police. She was sent to the hospital in time. Otherwise, she would have been dead. Speaking of which, they're both highly educated. According to my medical records, the girl has a master's degree. She's a physics teacher at a high school in the city. I heard that her fiancé is a doctor who returned from overseas and works at the Ministry of Education. What a bright future, what a bright future. I really don't know what they're thinking. Qin Jie rarely discussed patient gossip with Huo Min, but she had chatted with the patient's sister when they were outside. The girl's sister explained the situation to Qin Jie intermittently, and Qin Jie was shocked after hearing it. No wonder such a young and beautiful girl wanted to see a neurologist. It wasn't an endocrine disorder after all. She was almost killed by the man she loved the most. It would be strange if she wasn't scared out of her wits. Chief, why are there so many perverts nowadays? Why do they always want to commit suicide? Qin Jie looked at Huo Min in confusion. Chapter 24:18. Min wasn't surprised by Xianxia's words. He had been working here for a long time and came across all kinds of strange patients every day. Most of them had gone through setbacks. For example, there was a beautiful young girl who was said to be an internet streamer. However, due to a breakup, she suffered minor injuries and became mentally unstable. She would wake up in the middle of the night and sleepwalk to the streets. She would take off her clothes and attract a lot of onlookers. After a few repetitions, her family realized that the problem was serious and sent her to the hospital. Jie, remember that most people who suffer from depression are highly educated or emotionally affected. Migrant workers don't get it. I'm not looking down on migrant workers, but they work hard every day to make a living. They sleep when they're tired and eat when they're hungry. Their lives are relatively simple and they don't have the energy to think about things. Only those who are highly educated, especially those who are arrogant and aloof, feel that the world doesn't understand them. They think that they're not on the same level as the average person because they've read a lot of books. Only these people would be so stubborn. Chief, you're right. After working here for so long, I've noticed a pattern. Most of our patients are highly educated. Xianxia had to admit that she was impressed by Min's observation. I'm just speculating logically. Min smiled and continued to drink his milk tea. He no longer thought about Wuxia's call. After dinner, Wuxia returned to the Huo Corporation. As soon as he entered his office, he saw Yen Ruoxi, whom he hadn't seen in a long time. She had indeed disappeared for a long time. After Mo Shui's death, there was no news of her. Wuxia also didn't talk to Mayor Yen recently. Therefore, he didn't pay much attention to Yen Ruoxi's whereabouts. He was surprised to see her now. Xianxia, you're back? Yen Ruoxi stood up and asked weakly when she saw Wuxia walk in. Compared to before, her style seemed to have changed a lot. Whether it was the way she dressed, she was much more mature. She was no longer as cute as she used to be, wearing little skirts and pretending to be a Barbie doll. Instead, she chose a black dress with a Swarovski swan-shaped sweater chain. She finally had the temperament and taste of a socialite. Okay. Wuxia nodded slightly. He did not look at her and walked toward his desk. President Hua, there's a meeting in the afternoon about the new cooperation project with the magnificent Tang Corporation. It'll start at 2:50. The female secretary came in and reported. I know. Wuxia didn't even lift his eyelids. He was absent-minded. Xianxia, are you in a bad mood? No, you came to my company to look for me? What's the matter? Wuxia was annoyed to see this woman. No, I just went abroad with my mom to relax. I haven't seen you in a long time, so I came to see you. Alright, this is the wine I brought for you in Thailand. Your rib injury hasn't healed yet, right? The snake poison there is very powerful, Yen Ruoxi said as she took out the medicine she had bought for Wuxia from her Hermes handbag. No, I don't need it. You can go now. Wuxia's face turned cold. Then he turned on his laptop and looked at the data sent by his secretary. He didn't want to talk to Yen Ruoxi anymore. Xianxia, that bitch, Mo Shui, is already dead. No one will come looking for trouble with us anymore. My dad has also agreed to our marriage. As long as we get married, it'll be good for your career. I'll be a good wife and mother from now on. I won't care about anything else other than taking care of our child. Really, I'll treat you very, very well. Don't push me away, okay? Yen Ruoxi came to Wuxia humbly, hoping to be by his side. In fact, she knew that Wuxia wasn't a bad person. Otherwise, he wouldn't have saved her last time. No matter what others said, she still loved this man. Chapter 24:19. Ruoxi, I'm not as good as you think I am. Stop bothering me. I'm not in the mood to deal with you. Wuxia leaned back in his chair and rubbed his temples. Xianxia, you're a smart person. Why can't you see that I'm sincere towards you? If I wanted your money or status, I could have found someone else. With my father's current status, it's not like I can't get married, but I like you. I've been following you around for the past few years, no matter what people say about me. I just want to move you. It's been 4 years since your ex-wife, Song Isher, passed away, And it's been a few days since Emo Shuer's death. Why won't you give me a chance? Yen Ruoshi was born a rich heiress, so she had never been so humble and subservient before. She was so anxious that she was about to cry. Huasiqian raised his head and sighed. He walked over and looked down at her. Is 4 years a long time? Yen Ruoshi froze. She didn't say anything because she didn't know what Huasiqian was going to say next. If liking someone for a long time is enough to get a response, then Mion should have been mine a long time ago. I knew her before Qin Chu. I liked her for 20 years. 20 years. How many days and nights have I spent? Huasiqian said with a complicated expression on his face. Xianxian, stop liking Huamin, okay? She won't like you. She already has Qin Chu. Su Yu is so good, but she never wavered. If you continue like this, it'll only get harder and harder. Release yourself, stop tormenting yourself. Yen Ruoshi cried when she heard Huamin's name. Just like how Emo Shuer saw Huamin as her enemy, there was an insurmountable barrier between every woman and Huasiqian. And that barrier was Huamin. In Huasiqian's dictionary, the name Huamin was a curse that drove him to the brink of insanity. Stop talking. I won't change my mind. Huasiqian had already made up his mind. He really didn't want to waste his breath on Yen Ruoshi. Xianxian, but I really like you. I can't let go. I've tried to forget you, but I can't. I can't fall in love with another man. Even if the whole world says you're a bad guy, you're still the best in my heart. Yen Ruoshi's face was covered in tears. Actually, she knew that Huasiqian wouldn't change his mind, but she still wanted to say what she wanted to say. Okay? Pa, what's so good about me? Huasiqian lowered his head and leaned closer to Yen Ruoshi's face. Yen Ruoshi was a little scared to be so close to Huasiqian all of a sudden. She looked at Huasiqian's elegant and handsome face with apprehension. Who would have thought that a man like him could turn into a demon and tear people to pieces at any time? Anyway, in my heart, you're the best. You're the best in every way. Yen Ruoshi stuttered. She didn't have much confidence. Even if I'm a murderer? Do you think I'm the best? Huasiqian's lips curled up into a strange smile. Murder? Xianxian, don't talk nonsense. Yen Ruoshi's expression changed slightly. If I told you that all the women around me didn't have a good ending, like Song Yisher and Emo Shuer, I even killed a few of the women who slept with me, and I did it in a very cruel way, would you still think I'm the best? Xianxian, stop talking. I don't believe you. Stop talking. I beg you. After all, Yen Ruoshi was still young and hadn't seen much of the world. Therefore, Huasiqian pushed her to the brink of a breakdown. Chapter 2420. You're scared already? Pa. Then don't even think about marrying me. You'll be even more scared in the future. I'm not as good as you think. Far from it. Huasiqian straightened his collar, turned around, and left the office. Yen Ruoshi's hair stood on end. The look in Huasiqian's eyes just now, and the words he said? Was it true, or was it just to scare her and make her back out of the difficult situation? But why didn't it seem like it? There used to be rumors that Huasiqian was the real culprit behind Song Yisher's death. But it had been more than 4 years, and the evidence was long gone. Song Yisher's father was already in prison. No one knew what happened back then. Yen Ruoshi looked at the empty office and stood up shakily. Her legs felt weak. She picked up her bag and left listlessly. GK headquarters, President Qin, was that a call from the headquarters? Qin Chu walked out of the conference room, and Assistant Yang handed Qin Chu his phone. Second uncle. Qin Chu took the phone and chatted with his uncle. After hanging up, Qin Ning called again. It was obvious that the father and daughter were not on the same page. Qin Chu was also in a dilemma. He said a few words and hung up. Qin Chu's second uncle was very decisive. He insisted on holding a wedding for Tang Chuan and Qin Ning in the States. He also wanted Tang Chuan to become an American citizen. Tang Chuan was already very generous when he agreed to be their son-in-law. His second uncle's request was too much for him to accept. Tang Chuan also said that he didn't want to become an American citizen. If the Tang family found out about this betrayal, especially Tang Chuan's father, they would break his legs. After all, no one wanted their son to be kidnapped and become an American citizen. In the eyes of the elders, foreign citizenship was unacceptable. It was considered betrayal, and it was considered forgetting one's ancestors. Therefore, Qi Ning was in a dilemma. She watched as Tang Chuan was kicked out of the house by his father and moved to a hotel. Qi Ning anxiously followed him to a hotel. Qin Chu's second uncle was furious and asked Qin Chu to teach Qi Ning a lesson. Qin Chu hung up the phone and sighed deeply. It was said that even an honest official couldn't solve family problems, not to mention that he wasn't an honest official. "Sir, someone wants to see you without an appointment." The secretary's office's internal line. "Who is it?" Qin Chu asked. "She said she's from the Tang Corporation. And she's a middle-aged lady," Qin Chu slightly. "Let hers as eyes as hers as her." Although Qin Ning didn't cooperate with the Tang family in business and wasn't too familiar with them, she was now engaged to Tang Chuan. They might become in-laws in the future, so it was better not to offend the Tang family. With that thought in mind, he asked his secretary to let the people from Tang Chuan in. The office door was pushed open and a middle-aged lady came in. She was dressed extravagantly and had a bag worth hundreds of thousands in her hand. Her aura was also very strong. After she came in, she sat directly opposite Qin Chu and said with a straight face, "Hello, Tho Qin. I am Tang Chuan's mother." "Nice to meet you, Mrs. Tang." Although Qin Chu already knew her identity, he still had to pretend to be polite. "You know my son, Tang Chuan, don't you?" "Oh, I know him. We often have dinner together." Qin Chu told the truth. "Then you must know about the matter between my son and your cousin, right?" Tang Chuan's mother continued to ask. "Yes, Mrs. Tang, I know. So, your Qin family has made up your mind to kidnap my son and make him your live-in son-in-law?" The lady couldn't hold it in any longer. She seemed ready to flip out at any moment. Chapter 24-21. "Mrs. Tang, it's not what you're saying. I think there must be a misunderstanding," Qin Chu replied calmly. "Misunderstanding? Why do I feel like you're trying to shirk responsibility? Let me put it this way, President Qin, we're both influential people in our city. Our families are well matched, and my son likes your cousin. I think it's a good marriage, but why do you have to kidnap him? Last time, my son went to the States and disappeared for over a month. His father and I were so scared that we almost had a heart attack. We thought that everything would be fine after he came back, but who knew that he would run away again? Plus, I heard that he's going to stay there for a long time. Don't you think you've crossed the line? Although you're an international corporation, the Tang Corporation isn't to be messed with. We're not bad in terms of money, experience, and family background. How could you force my son to marry into your family and do something so embarrassing? Do you know what people are saying about us? They're saying that my son is a freeloader and that we're going bankrupt, so we're allying with GK. Did you hear what they're saying?" Mrs. Tang said a bunch of things in one breath. She was so angry that her face turned green. She came here with a lot of anger. Unlike last time when she questioned Suyu was more familiar with Mrs. Tang and found an excuse to brush her off. However, as the head of the Qin family, Qin Chu had to give her an explanation. "Mrs. Tang, calm down." Qin Chu tried to calm her down. "President Qin, you're a father now. You should understand how parents feel. If your daughter ran away, wouldn't you be upset? You should put yourself in my shoes," Mrs. Tang said bluntly. Qin Chu wasn't happy to hear this. Why did she have to use his daughter as an example? Therefore, Mr. Qin replied to Mrs. Tang with a lot of anger, "My daughter would never do something like that. That's how she was raised." "So you're saying that our family doesn't have a good upbringing?" Mrs. Tang was about to explode when she heard this. "Mrs. Tang, I understand how you feel. If there's anything, we can discuss it. Don't you think it's a bit inappropriate to use my daughter as an example?" Mr. Qin, who was a slave to his daughter, couldn't accept that his daughter was being used as an example. Not to mention Mrs. Tang, even Madam President couldn't do it. Absolutely not. "Oh, now I can't even make an analogy. If you can't even stand it, Then why don't you tell me that your girl kidnapped my son? If your family has a good upbringing, you wouldn't just run away with a man, right? Mrs. Tang looked at Qin Chu angrily. My sister, Qin Ning, grew up in the States, so it's normal for her to be different from the girls in our country. Mr. Qin was protective of his sister again. Mrs. Tang almost choked on her own breath. President Qin, if you talk like this, are you trying to make things difficult for the Tang family? Mrs. Tang was furious. No, I'm just stating a fact. Ning was indeed rude in her actions, but since they both like each other, I think we should give them some time. If they really want to talk about marriage, then it's not too late to talk about this. If one day they realize that they're not suitable for each other, then it's not impossible for them to break up. Mrs. Tang, you're thinking too much. Why bother? Qin Chu said faintly as he looked at the middle-aged woman calmly. Although Mrs. Tang was angry, she realized that she didn't know what to say. Wasn't Qin Chu a bit too powerful? Even if you're right, then let's talk about something else. I want my son back immediately. President Qin, please tell your family to let him go as soon as possible. Mrs. Tang ordered domineeringly. Chapter 24-22. Mrs. Tang, Tang Chuan's legs are his own. He can come back at any time. Qin Ning didn't kidnap him. You can call the police yourself. Why do you have to call me? I don't think it's within my jurisdiction. After all, he's not my son, Mr. Qin said viciously. Mrs. Tang almost fell to the ground and foamed at the mouth. Didn't he just say that his daughter would grow up and run away with someone else? It was just a metaphor. This man was so vengeful that he didn't even want to have a pleasant conversation with her anymore. President Qin, your question is unnecessary. If I could find him myself, I wouldn't need you. Now he's not even answering my calls. I'm starting to suspect that the girl really put him under house arrest, Mrs. Tang said impolitely. Then you can call the police. The U.S. is a fair place. If you think your son was kidnapped and imprisoned, you can sue him. Why waste my time here? Mrs. Tang was so angry that she couldn't speak. I'm sorry. I still have work to do. See you later. Qin Chu looked down at the files. Mrs. Tang clenched her fists and turned to leave. She was very unhappy. Although Su Yu was afraid of her and gave in to her, Mr. Qin didn't give him any face at all. That night, when they returned to South Hill Manor, Qin Chu brought up the incident at dinner. Huamin almost burst out laughing. Chu, you're too much. After all, you're going to be in-laws. Why do you have to be so hostile? Mr. Qin tried to persuade him. Dad, you don't know. He's a slave to his daughter. You can't say anything bad about his daughter in front of him. Otherwise, you'll piss him off. Mrs. Tang, why did you bring up our daughter? I don't like it. Huamin laughed. Now you understand me, right? Qin Chu glanced at Huamin faintly. Daddy, is Auntie really getting married? What's going on? Isn't it a bit too impulsive? Little Bean asked as she ate a red bean bun. Your second grandpa was the one who suggested marriage, not your little aunt, Qin Chu replied. What exactly did you discuss? What did your second uncle think? Mr. Qin asked. What can I do if the father and daughter don't come to an agreement? Qin Chu was also helpless. Then what should we do now? What about the Cold War? Poor they. Huamian asked curiously. No, Ningning and Tang Chuan moved out and stayed in a hotel. It's that serious? Huamin was a little surprised. At this time, Little Bean interrupted again. I think Uncle Tang wants to have sex with Auntie. No, he wants her to have sex with him. Then, Auntie will be able to make her own decisions. Huh. Don't talk nonsense. Huamin knocked Little Bean's head with his chopsticks. Little Bean stuck out her tongue. Little Bean, why aren't you talking? Is there something on your mind? Huamin found it strange that Little Bean didn't participate in the conversation. Mommy, today I saw... Little Bean was about to say Huasiqian's name when she stopped. She didn't want her grandparents to worry, so she swallowed her words. Who did you see? Huamin asked curiously. No. I saw an annoying guy. Little Bean and I scolded him. Little Bean knew that she couldn't tell Huasiqian in front of her grandparents. She had to tell her mommy in private. So, she nodded and said half-heartedly, "Yeah, he's annoying. He's so annoying. That bastard." "Little Bean, don't swear. What did Mommy tell you?" Huomin's face darkened. "I'm sorry, Mommy. I didn't mean it." Little Bean immediately apologized. "Little Bean, are you still buying the Huo Corporation's shares?" Qin Chu asked casually. "Yes, Daddy." "Oh, then you can sell them all in the next 2 days?" Qin Chu was still calm as if he was talking about something boring. "Because the Huo Corporation is going to do something big soon," Qin Chu said elegantly as he put a piece of vegetable on his plate. Chapter 24-23. If that's the case, then I'm really going to sell it. I don't want it to end up in my hands. Pudding continued to eat calmly. "Daddy, is your information accurate? Don't lie to my sister." Pudding looked at Qin Chu suspiciously. Qin Chu put down his chopsticks and pinched Pudding's cheeks lovingly. "How dare you doubt Daddy? When have I ever lied? Do you think I'd tell you something that's not reliable?" Qin Chu smiled. "That's hard to say. Maybe Daddy doesn't want my sister to invest in the stock market and purposely gave her fake information to trick her." Pudding's little brain worked fast. "Qin Chu, do you think Daddy is as unfaithful as you?" Pudding looked at Pudding with disdain and turned to go to the bathroom. "Hey, Qin Zhao Zhao, do you have a conscience? I'm doing this for your own good. How could you betray me?" Pudding was unwilling. Huomin looked at the two clowns and all his worries disappeared. Ever since she became a mother, she wasn't as sentimental as before. Most importantly, she didn't have time to think about those useless things. These two devils could turn the house upside down. Listening to them bicker every day was as interesting as listening to a crosstalk. The next morning, as soon as the stock market opened, Pudding directly transferred money into her account and bought all the shares of the Huo Corporation and its subsidiaries. She made a lot of money. She bought the shares when the Huo Corporation was in bad news, so it was a good deal. When she sold the shares, the price was still too high. If her daddy didn't remind her, she would have continued to observe for a while. However, since her daddy said that yesterday, it meant that the Huo Corporation was in trouble. After selling the shares, Pudding picked up an apple and nibbled on it. She turned on the TV and watched the financial news. She was waiting for the Huo Corporation to fall. Pudding had never been interested in the stock market. Therefore, after breakfast, she ran around the garden with the maid and played with the flowers and plants. As expected, at 10 o'clock, the Huo Corporation was in bad news. Pudding, who was about to fall asleep, suddenly became energetic. On the TV, the female host quickly introduced, "According to the latest news, the Huo Corporation has been embroiled in a major scandal today. Their deputy finance director, Du Zhili, has been accused of embezzling public funds and absconding with the funds. It is said that a portion of the embezzled funds is from a project with the Shen Corporation. A conservative estimate is 300 million. The Huo Corporation's CEO, Wuxia, has yet to respond. We will continue to monitor this matter." "But running away with your shoes?" Daddy was right. It's amazing. Pudding was in a good mood as she chewed on an apple. In less than an hour after the negative news was released, the Huo Corporation's stock price plummeted. Some shareholders who couldn't stand losing money went to the Huo Corporation building to cause trouble, but Wuxia didn't show up. "Wuxia bastard? Capitalist vampire, come out? What kind of shitty company is this? We only bought your shares because you bragged so much. Now that something like this has happened, we've lost everything. Give us back our money. If you don't give us an explanation today, I'll die in front of your company." A bald middle-aged man in his 50s roared. "Yes, we'll fight to the death. Wuxia, come out and give us an explanation. Wuxia, you bastard. How dare you cheat us out of our hard-earned money? What kind of shitty company is this? Just close it down." The voices of the unruly shareholders were getting louder and louder. Chapter 24-24. A group of middle-aged women followed behind him, holding up a banner that read, "Evil capitalists, the Huo Corporation eats people whole without spitting out their bones." At the same time, A large number of media outlets reported on the incident. Inside the president's office at the Hua Corporation, President Hua, what do we do now? Hua Xiqian's assistant was also worried. Hua Xiqian's face was gloomy, but he didn't say anything. His people had just found out that bastard Du Zhili had left the country. It would have been easier to find him anywhere else, but he had to go to the Golden Triangle, a place where all kinds of people lived. It was too difficult to find someone. Du Zhili had been at the Hua Corporation for a long time, so he was surprised by the sudden news. 300 million yuan wasn't a lot to him, it was just a drop in the ocean. However, what was bad was the reaction of society and shareholders after the news was exposed. Also, the Hua Corporation's stock market was in turmoil. President Hua, do you think Qin Chu hired someone to do this? After all, he's always been our nemesis. Maybe he bribed Du Zhili to set us up. What about Du Zhili's family? Hua Xiqian asked with a cold expression. They all ran away. His house is empty, he doesn't have any money in his bank account, and he sold his house and shops. It seems like this was planned long ago. President Hua, we must have been set up. This isn't a coincidence. Of course I know this isn't a coincidence. Hua Xiqian's face was gloomy. What do we do now? Those troublemakers outside are still causing trouble, it's not good for us. Should we chase them away? No need, they're just a bunch of people, they can't do anything. Hua Xiqian waved his hand. Hua Xiqian was in a bad mood, but he wasn't as worried as he thought he would be. After all, he was a man who had seen the world. Inside the Hilton restaurant in Sea City, Hua Yanyan was wearing a fiery red evening gown. Her hair was tied up in a bun as she sat across from Shen Mingxi. I chose this for you. Do you like it? Shen Mingxi pushed over a small box. It was Dior's logo. Hua Yanyan smiled shyly. What's that? Open it and have a look. Hua Yanyan slowly opened the box. Inside was a pair of pearl earrings. They were white and had a lace pattern. They were very beautiful. So cute. I heard that it's a limited edition of the new season. I think it suits you. Thank you, Mingxi. Hua Yanyan smiled. Let me help you put it on, Shen Mingxi said as he walked over and carefully put the pearl earrings on Hua Yanyan's neck. Does it hurt? Shen Mingxi asked softly. It doesn't hurt. I've had my ears pierced for many years. I don't feel anything anymore. You don't have to be so nervous. Hua Yanyan bit her lip and smiled. Have you read the news about the Hua Corporation? Shen Mingxi suddenly asked her after he returned to his seat. Is it about the scandal that was exposed today? Hua Min asked Yanyan. Yeah, I saw it. Your company lost a lot of money, right? I heard that the money that the person took was from your company. Hua Yanyan asked with concern. That's not important. What's important is that Hua Xiqian is starting to run out of luck. Shen Mingxi said word by word. Hua Yanyan didn't say anything. She didn't know what Shen Mingxi was trying to say. Was he testing her or something else? I know you hate Hua Xiqian. I'll avenge you, Shen Mingxi suddenly said affectionately as he looked at Hua Yanyan. Hua Yanyan was slightly stunned. She even felt a little nervous. She had never mentioned anything about revenge and had always been careful around him. How did he find out? Did someone tell him? Chapter 24-25. Mingxi, the truth is I? Hua Yanyan paused in the middle of her sentence. She had mixed feelings. You don't have to say it, I understand. I know you've always hated me, and I know you've been looking for a chance to get revenge. But Yanyan, I don't believe that you got close to me and came back to me just to use me. Mingxi, let me finish. Shen Mingxi interrupted Hua Yanyan. Then he continued, in the past, I was too preoccupied with my own feelings and neglected you. Now that I think about it, when two people are together, they need to understand, tolerate, and be considerate of each other. No matter what other people say, you and Tian have brought me a lot of happiness and warmth. You've made me feel like a family. The truth is, even without you, Wei Ying and I would have gotten a divorce. The marriage between our families was a mistake. Luckily, it's not too late to regret it now. I still have a chance to take care of you. So, from now on, your lover is my enemy. I'll help you deal with Wuxia. Once I deal with him, I'll propose to you. I'll let you officially marry into the Shen family, instead of being called a shameless homewrecker. Shen Mingxi rarely said so much at once. So, Hu Yanyan was really touched after hearing what he said. Mingxi, you don't have to do this. You've already been so good to me. Hu Yanyan felt a little guilty. She liked Shen Mingxi, but she was also making use of him. After Wuxia died, she wanted Wuxia to die as soon as possible so that she could get her revenge. Maybe she was too anxious and gave herself away, and Shen Mingxi saw through her. That was why they had this conversation today. No, it's not enough. I'll treat you and Tian Tian even better. Tian Tian isn't my daughter, but I'll treat her like my own. I won't let you and Tian Tian be bullied. Leave Wuxia to me. Just wait for my good news. Hu Yanyan had a complicated expression on her face. Just as she was about to say something, Shen Mingxi's phone rang. Have you arrived? Very good. I'll get someone to transfer the rest of the money to you. I hope you'll keep your promise and never appear in the country again. Don't get caught by Wuxia. Otherwise, even the gods won't be able to save you. Shen Mingxi hung up after he finished speaking. He picked up his phone and sent a text message to his trusted subordinate. Send the rest of the money to Du Zhili. Although he had edited the text, Hu Yanyan could still pick up some clues from his words. After putting down the phone, Shen Mingxi smiled at Hu Yanyan. How are the dishes today? Mingxi, did you do this to the Hu Corporation? Hu Yanyan finally understood why Shen Mingxi had said so much. It turned out that he had already begun to make his move. Furthermore, he had already given Wuxia a heads up from the very beginning. Shen Mingxi didn't deny it and nodded. Mingxi, revenge is my own business. I don't want to drag you into this. Even if I did use you, I only used your money and your connections. I didn't want to drag you into this. Hu Yanyan said anxiously. It's okay, I don't care, Shen Mingxi said with his head lowered. I care. I can't do that. You've been so good to me. I can't put you in danger. You don't know what kind of person Wuxia is. If he finds out what you're doing, he won't let you go. Your life could be in danger at any time. He'll kill you, Hu Yanyan said anxiously. Chapter 24-26. It won't be that easy. Yanyan, I'm not useless. Don't think of me as a weakling. I know what kind of person Wuxia is. He's someone that even Qin Chu doesn't dare to touch. It's not that simple. I met with Min in private and she told me that Wuxia has someone even more powerful behind him. He's not someone we can mess with. Hu Yanyan warned. So what? Bring it on. Since I promised to avenge you, I won't back down. Don't worry. But Hu Yanyan frowned and was about to say something when Shen Mingxi interrupted her. Yanyan, let's eat. The food's getting cold. Hu Yanyan remained silent, but her heart was heavy. She didn't want to get Shen Mingxi involved, but it was too late. The whole corporation's incident was getting out of hand. At 6 p.m., Wuxia held a press conference at a 5-star hotel and gave a positive response to the incident. Wuxia stopped being so high-profile and changed into a dark gray suit instead of a brightly colored suit. He looked a little more composed than usual. Mr. Hu, about what happened this afternoon, how is your company going to deal with it? Did Du Zhili do what he did, or did he benefit from you? Please answer. The reporter's first question was extremely sharp. Wuxia wasn't nervous at all. In fact, he looked extremely relaxed. He lowered his head and leaned closer to the microphone. To be honest, Du Zhili has been with the Hu Corporation for many years. He was promoted by my father when he was still alive. He's been with us for 3 generations. I didn't expect him to do something like this. I'm deeply shocked and heartbroken by the outcome. President Hua, are you saying that you're not involved in this? Everyone is saying that you're going to clear your name? Another reporter asked expressionlessly. My friend from the media, that's a little funny. First of all, I'm not a bad person, so why would I clear my name? Plus, I'm not trying to clear my name, I'm just stating the truth. If I knew about this beforehand, I wouldn't have let it happen. After all, the whole corporation lost 5 billion yuan in just a few hours. That's my money. I don't need to be stupid enough to ruin my own family's wealth, right? Hua Xiqian asked the reporter. The reporter was speechless. Mr. Hua, why did Du Zhili suddenly do this? As far as I know, the Hua Corporation pays him quite well. As the deputy director of finance, he makes 1,000,000 yuan a year. His family is well off, so he wouldn't do something like this, another reporter asked. We're also investigating the reason. So far, we just found out that he took the opportunity of a business trip to Singapore's Golden Sands Casino a week ago and lost 180 million yuan. So, I think it has something to do with this. After all, the money he lost couldn't have been his own. Recently, he took over a project with the Shun Corporation, so he had a way to withdraw the project funds. As for how he did it, whether he copied my card or something else, we'll have to wait for the final results from the police. We've already called the police. We hope that Du Zhili can be arrested as soon as possible so that he can give our company and everyone an explanation. Mr. Hua, what do you plan to do with the Shun Corporation? Will you continue working with them? Another reporter asked. President Hua, have some water? The female secretary behind him gently handed him a bottle of water. Chapter 24-27. Okay, thank you. Hua Xiqian apologized to the female secretary in a gentlemanly manner. The audience in front of the TV saw this and praised Hua Xiqian for his manners. Hua Xiqian took the bottle of water but didn't take a sip. He just casually placed it beside his hand. Then he said righteously, as for our business partner, the Shun Corporation, we will definitely give them an explanation. I will use my personal fortune to compensate them for the money that Du Zhili stole from the Shun Corporation. If President Shin is willing, I hope this partnership can continue. After all, our company values this partnership very much, and it is also our first partnership with the Shun Corporation. I hope this outcome will satisfy the Shun Corporation. Surprisingly, Hua Xiqian was unexpectedly generous. He was actually willing to pay out of his own pocket. This was indeed a bit unusual. In front of the TV, Hua Yanyan coldly looked at Hua Xiqian's face. She looked at the bottle of water that he took but didn't drink and sneered. As expected, he is very vigilant. Mo Shui even said that it was easy to drug him. How naive. He is such a suspicious person. Why would he casually drink something from someone else? Luckily, she wasn't stupid enough to bribe the female secretary. Otherwise, if the water was taken away for inspection, wouldn't she have left evidence that could be used against her? Mr. Hua, when the market opens tomorrow, will the Hua Corporation's stock continue to fall? Does your company have any plans? We will hold a shareholders' meeting tonight and think of a solution with all the shareholders. Please don't be impatient. I believe that we will recover quickly. After all, the Hua Corporation has always been a reputable company. Please give us some time to properly deal with this matter. Mr. Hua, this time, will Mayor Yan help your company this time? I heard that you and Miss Yan have a close relationship. It is widely rumored that you and Miss Yan are in a relationship. People have even witnessed Miss Yan entering and leaving your private mansion late at night. What do you think about this? Today's questions are about business. Our President Hua will not answer personal questions. Please be careful. Hua Xiqian's assistant stepped forward to stop the reporters. Hua Xiqian looked at his watch and stood up with a smile. Dear friends from the media, that's all for today. Thank you for coming. I've ordered some food and drinks at Peony Hall as a token of appreciation. Please help yourselves. President Hua has something to do, so he'll have to leave first. Hua Xiqian nodded and left the hotel with a smile. South Hill Manor. Qin Chu, Hua Min, and the twins were watching TV while eating fruits and chips. This big bad guy is such a hypocrite. He's obviously unhappy, but he's still trying to make it sound so nice. What's that called again? Right, a beast in human clothing. Little Bean cursed. You're insulting beasts, okay? Pudding corrected her. Ha, sis, you're the best. You win. Little Bean looked up and laughed. Honey, did you do this? Hua Min asked casually as he ate the orange. It wasn't me, Not Daddy? Then how did you know something was going to happen to the Hua Corporation? Pudding was confused. I planted spies in Huasiqian's company. According to my people, Du Zhili has been acting strangely lately. I asked someone to investigate and found out that he had already transferred all of his assets. So, I suspect that he's on the run. Qin Chu replied calmly. Wow, Daddy, do you have to be so smart? How did you do that? Pudding was completely impressed. I have a feeling that someone is even more anxious than us to deal with Huasiqian. Just wait and see, the whole corporation will continue to suffer. Qin Chu's lips twitched. You're tuning in to the Wang Lin's Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.